Hey everyone, I hope you are all well. This video is going to be about 6 ways Germany might change you after moving there. So the reason why I say might is because, there's no guarantee that, a country will influence you to change. I think we all have different experiences, but these are things that are quite prominent that might trigger this change in you. And the fact that I've noted them means that, they might have been quite significant things. So listen up and let's see how many of these that we can relate to. I do not live in Germany anymore. I left about 1.5 years ago, but I didn't really create much content while I was there. So I thought, okay, now is my chance. I'm not really traveling, so let me see what I can recall. And this is one of the videos that I thought about immediately. Okay, so the first way that Germany might change you is you may become really time conscious, always watching the clock, because German people do like to be on time, not early, not late, on time. So you may start really becoming time conscious and respecting other people's time more, as well as respecting your own time, and not being late and not being necessarily early either, just on time. Germans are very conscious of that, and that's something I noticed. So yes, timekeeping is pretty important. The second way Germany might change you after moving there is the bureaucracy. You will become more accustomed to, following the strict rules, and because of the organization and the structure, you will become more expectant of it in every area. At first, you might be like, oh my goodness, this bureaucracy, this paperwork, these rules, like, why do we have to follow this? But then if you decide to stay there, you get used to it, you get into it, it becomes normal for you, you then start to expect it much more. There you go. On the flip side, you might start to appreciate the flexibility and more free-flowing nature of things outside Germany. Number 3, you will learn German by force. Germans are very keen to keep the German language alive and do not feel obliged to speak English to you. In a lot of cases, people cannot speak English. Some people cannot speak English in certain parts of the country. So you will then have to learn some German. Start with 1 or 2 words, then it will increase to 5, then it increase to phrases, then it increase to more and more and more words until you're fluent, I think. I'm not fluent in German, but I did kind of pick up a few words even without trying. So if you haven't seen that video of the few words that I picked up in Germany without trying, then please do head over to it, or I'll link it up here, or I'll put it in the description. The only way that you might not learn it is if you literally do not try or do not interact with people. But if you're there, by default, you're just gonna learn it. So that's the third way in which moving to Germany will change you. Okay, so the fourth way Germany might change you after moving there is if you are a person of color, more specifically black, you will definitely become more aware of your blackness because of the ways in which you are treated or you experience certain treatments. You will definitely become more aware of it. If you're coming from a country where it's very multicultural, like for me, I come from England. I've lived most of my life here in England. Yeah, I'm aware of my blackness, but I'm also aware that there's just so many other black people around me that it's like, it's not such a big thing, like a big deal. I think here in England, I am made aware of my blackness in terms of my shade of skin, more so by other black people. And I think with this massive wave of dark skin appreciation over the past few years, people have definitely started to appreciate me more, like in the streets, out in public, everywhere. Just giving me a lot more compliments and praise for having this tone of skin, as opposed to in the past where I received a lot of negativity about it. But that's not necessarily the sense in which I mean it with regards to being a black person in Germany. When it comes to becoming more aware of your blackness in Germany, I'm talking about just being black. Any shade, any tone. This was not something I was aware of that was such a big issue, being black in Germany. If I had maybe done more research, I would have known that actually it's quite a big deal. When I went there, I experienced it firsthand. I became more aware of my blackness. I became more aware of it in public spaces. Just because of certain comments I received, certain ways in which I was treated, I was like, oh yeah, that's why. So you will become more aware of it. Even if you've been happy-go-lucky, free before, you'll become more aware of it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. it's probably a good thing. Awareness is usually it's good to be aware, but it's just not nice when it's kind of being pointed out in a negative way. But I think definitely Germany has a lot of progress to do in this department. But I'm just saying, based on my experience, I believe this will change you in a way. You'll become more aware of it. I can even go as far to say that even when I went to Iceland, I was not thinking of me as a black person in Iceland. I was thinking of me just going to Iceland. I knew that I would meet different people. I knew that I would meet people of a different culture, but I wasn't necessarily thinking of me sticking out like a sore thumb. I wasn't thinking of, like, I literally didn't. My awareness was just not there. But when I moved to Germany, my awareness kind of raised up a bit more, you know? And of course, the treatment is the residual effect of Germany's past, which I will not go into. People actually commented on my Black in Germany video saying that this treatment is more prominent in Berlin and less prominent elsewhere. I do believe them, and I do believe there is some truth in that, but that doesn't erase the stories and experiences that are happening and being shared, you know, nationwide. So yes, I believe you that actually it's probably more of an issue in Berlin, but I think that I believe other people as well who are going through it. Yes, I definitely believe. Why would they lie, you know? Okay, next. And don't take this in a negative way. I'm just sharing a little bit of my perspective and experience, which of course is perfectly acceptable. Okay, the fifth way in which Germany might change you. You know, it's a very high likelihood that this will change you. Like, if you don't change, like, what is going on, especially with this particular point that I'm making? You will become more environmentally friendly. For every piece of trash, there is a specific bin where it belongs. And you do, of course, have the motivation to recycle, especially, you know, your plastics and cans, because there is a tax on it. And when you take them back to the supermarket or to this fund deposits, you can receive, I think it's like 25 cents back on it. So that's the motivation for being environmentally friendly. You can see it, you can kind of see it as you get paid to be environmentally friendly. And so why would you deliberately throw your rubbish in the general trash bin? It gets me so irritated when I see plastic being thrown in the main bins. In Germany, there is that incentive. So I think because of that incentive, there is a high likelihood of you changing. Okay, the sixth way in which Germany might change you is you will start to embrace the various cultures and traditions of the country. I think when it comes to German culture traditions, they have been kind of spread all over the world. I mean, before I even went to Germany, I was going to Christmas markets for years. I was going to German Christmas markets for years. I mean, even here in England, every single year we have a German market. In pretty much every city you can think of, there is a German market. And imagine if you've been doing that in other countries. When you go there, I think there is a high likelihood of you just embracing that, especially when it comes to the holidays, you know? Christmas. I heard also about this kind of baking tradition where you bake every day for a certain period up until Christmas, fill the whole house with the smell of baking. That sounds like a very good tradition to me. And if you are kind of into baking and cookies, I think that's probably going to become a good excuse for having cookies while embracing the tradition. Okay, so guys, I hope you have found this video interesting. Please do give it a thumbs up if you have. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as well as turn your notifications on so you know exactly when I've uploaded a video. Please do not forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!